Welcome back to the final section of our course, User Experience for Web Developers. We have really made a lot of improvements and learned a lot about user experience over the last 9 sections. In the previous section, we started to flush out and build a clickable prototype for the desktop version of our responsive website and all the wireframes that we created for that. In this section, we'll be growing our web design skills and wrapping up this course. We will be relating to lean user testing. We'll be testing our prototype. We'll be iterating and improving based on our tests, and we'll review this UX course. So let's get going. Our prototype in the last section is a small piece of the pie for much of what our user is going to be experiencing. But many prototypes end up being tests and examples. The goal is learning from prototyping and is to test ideas quickly and validate that solutions are worth coding. With more time, you could prototype each section of the responsive site that could be shared before fully engaging and developing in code. This includes looking at how the tablet and the desktop and the mobile work together. So far, we have built a semi-robust, clickable prototype that could be experienced and used by others. The next step is, well, you got it, to test it. Lean methodology is an organizational structure that keeps small teams and learning paramount and has become a powerful principle in many entrepreneurs and startups. As a growing user experience designer, you should know how your team is organized and how you will help, if not only to communicate about the importance of user experience, but also how to help with testing and validating your ideas, which is a great process and what prototyping is all about. Since we have created a prototype, let's test it. Envision app will help us test our prototype quickly and is a way to measure and validate our user experience decisions along the way. User testing is an essential tool for user experience as it fits into the lean method. Remember to always test your prototypes. There are 5 points to remember when testing your prototypes, and you can find them at adaptivelab.com, 5 principles for lean UX testing. 1, they are, user experience is not fine sandpaper. User experience is not a layer on top. It is at the DNA of your solutions. 2, test early and test often. Tests can be performed using your prototype along the way. You can ask your friends, and it doesn't have to be long and hard to validate your thinking. 3, choose your test measures carefully. You are validating a hypothesis, so keep in mind that your prototype test is attempting to solve a question. Number 4, test the minimum product, not the maximum. You'll hear multiple times MVP, the minimum viable product. And a lot of times, prototyping allows us to test the minimum testable product. As you know, we are not testing the entire responsive web design in our prototype. However, we can still learn and iterate on the smaller prototype we have built through the desktop. Your coworker is not your user. This is incredibly important. Attempting to test your prototype on newbies to your problem is not necessarily helpful. If your only user test is with your coworkers who are also working on the same problem, you will get biased feedback. UX requires you to consider your audience, so attempt to use them as your testers. Prototyping and lean user testing is about walking the walk and talking the talk of how user experience can improve a product or website. We do the best that we can and learn and use best practices. We familiarize ourselves with UI patterns, but if we don't get in the habit of validating and testing our solutions, we are just doing a small piece of user experience design. User testing is an essential part of not only learning about our user, but also about giving us as user experience design a way to validate our solutions, whether they worked or not.